Now, on the second half of the reverse mortgage interview with Craig Gallegos, we talk more about how my lovely retiree veteran, can capture the equity in your home so that you can have the lifestyle that you'd like to have, not have house payments, but have the house that you want. So, lifestyle plus house you want, no mortgage. Let's make that equity work for you.
This is what it would look like in 5 years.
Got
They
it.
borrowed that has grown. The loan has grown from the amount that it started at plus the amount that they took out. So now it's grown to 62. So now in 5 years, if maybe they can't stay there anymore or something like that, they still have $519,000 after they sell to take and use whatever they need to do with that. If they want to move into assisted living or something,
Hmm.
at that point, they still have all of that equity still there.
Sure.
They sell
So
it. It's just like a normal home when you have a mortgage. You sell it, you take the difference, and you do whatever you want with that difference.
got it. Got it. Okay. So I have a question because
Hmm.
again, just thinking if somebody takes reverse mortgage at 62, let's plug in 62
Okay.
and let's say this person's going to live for another 30 years. Same
Okay. So
numbers for
so
everything. I just
I
want to
will
see
have
because
to I will have to change this. I can't change it within this program.
ah
So what I have to do is go back. So I'll do that. I'll stop sharing and work on that
yeah,
for a second.
because
So
that's one of the things that honestly I think that would be my concern is that I would take out a loan, a reverse mortgage at say 65, but I'm just gonna say 62 because that's the youngest, and I'll live for another 30 plus years, and I'll
uh-huh.
stay in my house, and we'll see about that. But I'm just saying, kind of worst case scenario, and I just want to see, because I know people are going to want to see what happens over that 30-year period, and you don't sell. What happens with that line of money you borrowed to either do repairs or just get into the house. You sold your house in Sun City and you moved up to, Verde
Mhm.
Valley where it's nicer and cooler and more
Now,
rural.
okay. So
Let's say 62, but just keep the house the same that you had because that's, 450 is a pretty good average here in this area.
okay. So let me see if this will work. It's communicating. Yeah. So now we're down to 63.
Okay,
Okay.
that's close enough.
And
That's good.
so if we work on a 63-year-old, the numbers are very similar. They're going to be the line of credit will be a little bit lower because when you're younger, you need more equity. Okay. So this
Okay.
is how a 63-year-old would look. And if you wanted to, let's just say they took out at that point the whole 79,000. Okay. So you want to see what it looked like over the whole
Yeah.
time, or do you want to see with zero mortgage, or how would you like to look at it,
Let's just
Judy?
do saying they're taking out their 79. Let's see what happens
Okay.
over
So
the next 30 years.
so it only goes to 99. So this is how it would look. If they took out that 79,000, the loan has grown all the way to 1.1 million over from over 36 years.
Hmm.
36 years. They still have $801,000 of equity because of the 4% growth rate of the home. And people don't think about, they don't think that they're, they don't keep in mind that their home is growing in value year over year. They just focus on that loan growing year after year after year.
Right,
But
right, right.
when they're
Well,
99 years old, they still have $800,000 in equity.
exactly. And I think that the thing that people also need to remember, and this is maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I thought I heard is that there's an expectation that they will maintain the property, meaning it's not you just live in it and let it fall to shambles around you.
No, that's just like with any loan out there, you have to keep your property up. Yes. You can't have
Maintain.
a meth lab in there. You can't do crazy things like that. You have to maintain your home and, like I said before, pay your taxes. your insurance, and your HOA. Those
Yes,
have to be
exactly.
all kept current.
Exactly, exactly. And so if I have and I'm just maybe repeating myself, but I also think about, say, my veterans who want to sell their home. They have a lot of equity, they've lived there forever, but the house just isn't working for them anymore. Maybe they want to be closer to some hospital, different things, maybe a little smaller home that fits better for their current needs and
Mhm.
lifestyle. And if they sell their home, and they're like, I just don't want to use all my money. And I know we kind of talked about it, but I'm making it hopefully more simple. Is that I sold my house for $600,000
Mhm.
and I want to buy a house that's 450.
Mhm.
I don't want to pay. Now, do I have to pay the whole 450 for the house? And that's going to be what my reverse mortgage is?
No, they would just have to come in with it's called the principal limit factor. So they would just have to come in with an amount based on their age, the value of their home. Maybe they only have to come in, instead of coming in with that $450,000, now they only have to come in with three. So they can
Okay.
take that 150, put it in an annuity or something like that from the sale of their home, and now they will have that income from that annuity or wherever they place that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just
Um,
kind of like just what, like you said about Charlene, is the same thing. She sold her home. She didn't want to use all of her cash. We used the reverse to bridge that gap between the purchase price and what she wanted to put down.
Got it, got it. And I think
Mhm.
that that really makes sense. And I do like that you mentioned that if you want to, which kind of makes sense, it's just paying down the interest. It's like
Yeah.
if you don't want to see that growing, that borrow that loan, that reverse mortgage loan
Hmm.
growing, at least
Hmm.
you can pay down the interest, which is significantly less than making a house payment. But again, if you have a rough month or you want to go on vacation, you don't have to do anything at all. And I think that as we age, and I think of many of my veterans have a lot of health issues, especially my Vietnam veterans who were exposed to Agent Orange. And actually, I'm finding a lot of my veterans from Afghanistan deployments also are having bad health issues because of the pit burnings and all that, just stuff that you just didn't expect. And
Yeah.
so you want to not have that stress. And if you can take a reverse mortgage and not have to pay it back, you don't have to have any payments. Now you have money that you were paying for a mortgage, and or you now have that line of credit to pay for things that are just going to make your life easier, maybe easier for your family. Maybe it's not covered by the VA insurance and things, but your family wants things. You can't provide it for them now because you can't work or whatever, but the house can help provide that for your family.
Oh, absolutely. And if they are going to make a payment, I would like to show you. I'll share my screen again. I'll start with the same scenario we were just looking at, which was the house is worth 478. They don't have a mortgage yet. They do the reverse. Now they have a line of credit. Now, in 5 years, or let's go to 10 years. In 10 years, their line of credit is 289. But what if they do this? What if they put $1,000 a month into their mortgage every single month? They want to just, they have the ability to keep paying. Maybe they're still working. So now look, so what I did was I set up $1,000 payment starting in month one, ending in at the end of the 10th year. Now it's 328,000 that they can take
Wow.
out and use on whatever they want. They can use it for anything that they want. And a lot of people don't realize this.
Wow.
Let's just say the market does just tank. And now this house is only worth 400 from it should have grown to 700, but now maybe it's only worth 4. This line of credit is still $328,000 regardless of the value of their home.
So how does that play out if they have to sell it and or if their family decides to sell it? because mom passed away or she's in, assisted living.
Okay. Do you mean if they're upside down or if they still have equity
Well, that scenario that you just gave.
of the, well, in that scenario, even if they took out the 328,000 and the home was only worth 400, there's still a little bit of money left, but let's just say there
Hmm.
isn't. If the house at the end of, when they're going to move out, because you have up to 12 months to satisfy this lien, okay? Either by you have to sell it. It has to be sold, or if it's underwater, the relatives or the immediate family can purchase this home if it's underwater for 95% of market value. They have, like, it's basically a first right of refusal to purchase that home if they really want it. I mean, 9 times out of 10, regardless if there's equity or not, children just want to sell it and move on with their lives.
Yes, they
They
do.
don't, nobody moves
Usually.
into the home. If it's a cabin somewhere, they might keep it, just so they can use that as a vacation. Then they have first right of refusal to purchase that. And even if it's costing the bank that money to cover, and that's the reason that there's the mortgage insurance, because FHA guarantees the bank the difference if it's underwater.
Got it. Got it. And I have seen reverse mortgages go into foreclosure because the family doesn't want to deal with selling it. They just walk away and they just go, the house isn't worth anything. I don't want it. I don't want to refinance it and I don't want to deal with selling it.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the worst choice to do, but what happens when the family just doesn't want to deal with it?
Well, if they don't want to deal with it, then it would have to go, further than like a short sale. But
Yeah.
I mean, dealing with it would make more sense because well, we both know that even if they don't care, when you have a foreclosure, the amount that someone can purchase that home for is going to be, they think it's worth nothing. Well, if they think it's worth nothing, it's going to be less than that on when it gets foreclosed on, because somebody's
Hmm.
going to bid on that home and maybe it's worth 200,000 and they're going to get it for 100.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's tough to go through at that point because they have, they're grieving and they don't want to deal with it. But most of the time right now, the way that the houses have grown, there's going to be equity there, and
Hmm.
why not take that equity,
Right. Take the
and
take the
as an
money.
inheritance. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And then let the realtor do all the work. Just
yeah.
hand it
What
over
you
to
have
the
to sign? What
realtor.
do you have to do? You have to sign some
Yeah.
papers. That's
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to show the house. You don't have to be here. The realtor will help you get rid of stuff, clean the house, get any repairs that maybe would be needed or tweaking just to make it worth more, a little more to try and, maximize the
right.
market
Yeah,
dollar for you.
maximize it. Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
don't forget about realtors as being a resource in those scenarios. And reverse mortgages aren't any different than regular mortgages, except you don't have to make a payment in that
Option.
12 months.
Hmm.
Whereas if you inherit a house that has a mortgage on it, you have to make those payments or they will take it.
Well, yeah,
So
yeah.
it gives you 12 months to get the house sorted out on the market and sold and no money out of your pocket, so to speak.
Yeah, and the most important thing to remember is to be, if this situation, especially for you, Judy, if this ever happens to you, be in constant contact with the servicer. Let them know you're working on the home, you're fixing it up, you're going to put it on the market. Let them know you've put it on the market. You have to update them. That's the only way, because it starts off at 3 and then they extend to 6 and then they extend further. But if it's on the market and you're actively trying to sell it, then just keep that communication going with the
Mhm.
servicers so they don't just come in and take it themselves.
Right. Well, and that's relevant on any mortgage, but I
Yeah,
think in particular, just keeping in mind that if someone has a reverse mortgage on their home and you're going through that grieving process, it's a little more challenging. However, and here's my little plug, is people that are older or have health issues, please have a trust, have a will, communicate with your family what your needs are, what your wants are, make sure all that paperwork is readily available so that nobody is digging through drawers trying to find out what's going on. It is on you to communicate those things. But I
Yeah, and
really like the idea of their being able to leverage the reverse mortgage for aging in place. That's a big thing these days because we don't like to leave our homes. And, the day of, I got to sell my house and move into a nursing home or whatever. I mean, we've got so many levels of care now and levels of independent living, assisted living, skilled care, all of that. We've got the memory care units, we've got it all. But your home can help afford those things if that's where you need to go. And
yeah,
it can also afford to keep you. I always say kiddingly, my house has got to pay for its own repairs. My house has to, whatever. And this is a great way to do it without having to incur more debt and actually free up money so that you don't have to scrape and whatever to get by, that you have the money then to make those repairs, to make the modifications needed, and then make memories and, enjoy your golden years.
yeah. And so many people, I mean, you're the debt will be a little bit higher because of the mortgage, but you're not, a lot of people, they're older. I'll just use my credit card. I can pay it off, but that's hard to do. You're on fixed income. You know
Yeah.
what your income is going to be every single month. So if
Right.
you need a new air conditioner and it's, 15 grand, I mean, that can be a significant outlay of cash, and
Right.
cash flow is everything in retirement. So you won't
Exactly.
have to spend that money each month or whatever on those emergencies that might come up. And think about what you can do with this for, like you said, you want to age in place. You can have long-term care. You can have somebody come in, take care of you a couple times a
Mhm.
week, 3 times a week, every day if you need. You have that availability with the reverse and not having to write that check. Your house is going to write that check for you.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that it just opens up so many avenues for people that they didn't know about before. And I know that old school, I grew up being told, hey, you've got to pay off your house. You buy a house, you live in it till you die. And you don't want to have a loan because that's the whole freedom of as you get older is that you don't have a house payment.
Right.
However, I don't have a house payment, but I don't have any, I'm not going to make more money. When I was working and I had a career and whatever, I knew I could make more money. I could do X, I could get promoted, whatever. I can get X, Y, and Z. I could change jobs. When I'm 70, I'll just say, I don't want to be working like a dog just to try and make sure that I have enough money to pay for things like a new air conditioning unit and pay off my credit cards. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to enjoy life. I want to be able to go out and have a bite to eat with friends. I don't want to be counting every penny and stressing about everything I spend or don't spend because I don't have a house payment, but I have no money. I have
Yes.
no
Yeah.
monthly money coming in.
We,
Um,
we, I've had clients crying to me on the phone because they can't go and do the things that they want to do. We had a loan that we did for a lady in Scottsdale, huge home, beautiful home. Husband died. She didn't have any monthly income. All of the income was from him. And she was selling furniture, selling prized possessions to pay her taxes and her insurance on her home.
See, and
Why do that?
that's
So
no
we
way to
we
live.
we saved her
Exactly.
home, got her a ton of money with the reverse, and now she is very, very happy.
See, that's a great success story. That's a great example of how it saves a person's life, saves them.
Think of that stress that she dealt with every day. What can I
Exactly.
sell
And
today?
and just think about that. When you're older, your body does not handle stress as well as it did when you were younger. It's
No,
like you could give
not at
yourself a
all.
heart attack, a stroke. all kinds of things that we really just don't need in our life as we're older. Now, the one thing that I do want to touch on really quick, and we're running to the end of our time here, is there is a process. You have to apply for the reverse mortgage just like you apply for any other loan. And there's a
Mhm.
process. And the cool thing that I can tell you, everybody watching, is that Craig, and I've worked with quite a few different reverse mortgage providers, vendors. Craig is the only one I will ever recommend. I will only work with because he did such a great job of staying on top of things. He knows reverse mortgages. He communicates really well. He educates. He answers questions. He understands that we're dealing usually with people that are a little older, and this may be, a lot of new concepts and verbiage. He takes his time with them. And Charlene would also say that it was wonderful working with you. And so, from my standpoint, having worked with other reverse mortgage people, I was so upset with one because my clients ended up homeless in between their homes because the reverse mortgage company didn't know what they were doing. And so we just kind of were stalling and struggling. And I had another one where the person that was the mortgage lender just wasn't communicating, didn't know what was going. I don't know what. It kept ghosting us. I'm like, none of
Yeah,
that
it's
has happened with Craig. You're on it, you're responsive. We've stayed in touch. You're very awesome about wanting to educate and helping not only potential people that could use the reverse mortgage, but also agents to understand the concept and make that available. And my last little pitch for you, he has agreed to come to my subdivision, which, like I said, has a lot of older people living here, to talk about reverse mortgages to really maybe hopefully help some of our homeowners figure out better ways to pay for the repairs, the roof, the painting, the windows, things that their homes need that are kind of required in our subdivision. And so thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come up and do
thank
that.
you.
Because
And
he's in the Phoenix area and we're up here, up north. So
I just want to say that I really appreciate you having me here, and I look forward. And I know this was geared mainly towards veterans, but did you know that Fairway has our own foundation? It's called the American Warrior Initiative,
I did
and
not.
we've given away 431 service dogs to veterans in the last 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
so
would you be so
wonderful.
kind as to share that information with me so we can add it in our show notes so that
Yep.
people can potentially link into that? And then I will also be grabbing your information and putting it in there so people will know how to contact you. I know you've got email, phone, website. You're also on Facebook, I think.
Facebook,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
everything. Yeah,
I'll make sure that they have all the information on how to reach you. So
sounds
cool,
great.
cool, cool. Yes,
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
thank you. One of the things that I am so thankful to Craig for is that he has busted all those myths about reverse mortgages. And the funny thing is that people say, well, if I have a reverse mortgage, the bank owns my house. Hello, people. If you have a mortgage on your house, if you don't make the payments, the bank will take your house. The advantage of a reverse mortgage is the bank owns your house. You never have to make a payment. And when you pass away, you can leave that money to your kids. So if you're interested in more wealth building, understanding more about veteran loans, or things that are going to help you make decisions about buying or selling, please check out my other videos from my other lenders and leave a message. Subscribe. Subscribe, comment, DM me. Please reach out. And we look forward to seeing you on my next video.